Hi, this is Kip, and consider this a video PSA. Now, as we get down to election day, I think we've got 5 days left. Uh, this will be the first election cycle that I will really not be looking forward to or dependent on the countless pundits and election analysts that will be on public radio as well as network news. And so, folks, um, for the sake of everybody's mental health, I would recommend watching the results on CSPAN. Just, you know, seeing the hard numbers without all the spin. Because the spin, if you just sit there and listen to, CNN, they usually will have like um, two sets of pundits. Like they'll have a set uh, with an anchor, and the anchor will be in the middle, and there will be like Democratic and Republican pundits, like two of each, and then they will toss it to another CNN anchor that will have like another set of pundits. Um, I've just stopped watching and listening to these pundits uh, because I think the pundits are kind of like entertainment. All right. And I know a few of them personally. Um, and I noticed that many of you like to post what the pundits have to say. Um, Remember that they are paid for their opinion. And, I can get into the whole situation of network news um, following a particular line. And it should be obvious to everybody that the network news is not quite fair. But there's like a certain line that they are continuing to put out there, and the pundits are going along with that. And because the pundits, in order for them to stay pundits, their role is to kind of gin up the whole process and not really push back on what the line, what the network news line is. And if you pull one of these pundits aside personally, they will tell you, like, hey, what's going on. Um, I think I'm, even though, and I'm talking about the pundits that a lot of us tend to agree with, a lot of us like, because when we sit and listen to them, then we find ourselves in agreement with them. Um, Probably maybe 90% of the time, we generally find ourselves in agreement with these pundits. Um, but it's okay to push back on the pundits that we agree with. Okay. They are not infallible. And I want everybody to clearly understand that it's okay to say, John Smith, I like you, and I agree with you 97% of the time, but on this point you're wrong. I mean, you're absolutely wrong. Okay. And I don't see anybody posting that. I don't expect you to trumpet when you're in disagreement with the pundits that you usually agree with. I'm just encouraging you to look at things differently and hopefully, if you look at it from an objective point of view, then there's a chance that it may not make you as crazy, okay? Because just sitting there listening to these pundits for hours on end, you'll just go seriously. But yeah, network news, their goal is ratings. They want more people, more bodies to view them. The information they provide, they're not providing it as a public service. Now, if you feel benefited from what you get from network news, that's completely coincidental or accidental. All right. So I want people to clearly understand, because I see so many people posting in their status in bold letters, with maybe like a colored background. John Smith said, this is wrong, and I support John Smith, or he is on fire. I would just caution everybody about taking the pundit's word as gospel. And you're going to see countless promos and commercials talking about, catch our election analysis. Even the public radio has gotten into the act with that. Just look for the numbers and reach out to me if you need any help in finding just raw numbers. I think the New York Times usually does like a rolling commentary that you just keep scrolling, and their columnists will just kind of describe things. That's still a form of analysis. All right. But they are more factual than the rest. But I would look at a combination. I would look at BBC. I would look at Al Jazeera. 538 is a good site. But just take what you hear from these pundits with a grain of salt. And if you just remember that in the back of your head, the moment that they start talking, and the moment you see, the panel on either CNN or MSNBC, or I don't think News Nation really deals with panels. I think that Cuomo and they will have like different people, in boxes. But I don't know if they have like panels in the studio. And then I don't know what Fox News is doing. I'm not even going to pretend. So that's it. Thank you for listening. These are just my thoughts, because a lot of you have asked me. You've already started to ask me about where to look for results and numbers on Election Day. But I could not do that without saying something about the pundits. And if I just typed it out, a lot of you would not read it. You would scroll, you would read like the first couple of sentences, and then you would keep scrolling through your feed. But I think a lot of you may, in terms of a video, you would watch at least most of it, but I think you would get more out of it than just a comment on my status update. So This has been a 10-minute video PSA, but I believe it's been worth it. And we'll be back soon. Hopefully you had a chance to see my brief interaction with Tennessee State Rep Justin Jones, part of the Tennessee 3, who's here in Atlanta today. We'll go back and look at that. All right. Have a great day.